Hello everybody and welcome back. I just want to set the scene here for you. This occurred in 2014, this fishtail that I'm going to tell you, and there'll be some still pictures and some video combined all into one. So myself and 5 others arrived down at the dock at about 4 a.m. in the morning, and there's the boat there, and we met the captain. And the first thing the captain tells us is that the inlet is really rough. He says, so we're going to pick our way through the inlet. He said, but once we get out to the ocean, we should have smooth sailing. Okay, so we leave the dock and we all gather in the cabin to relax. It's a 2-hour run out to the fishing grounds, to where the tuna and mahi are. So we're all sitting around the cabin just, shooting the bull, talking to each other. And the captain did exactly what he said. We're picking our way through the inlet. It's, we're going nice and easy and slow, and then after a bit of time, maybe 20-30 minutes, the boat started to pick up speed. So I thought to myself, okay, we're out in the ocean. Well, then all of a sudden it was like the world dropped out from underneath us. We all flew off our seat. I don't know how high in the air we went, but it felt like we went up pretty far off the seat, slammed back down. Guy across from me, he fell on the floor and right next to the stairs that went down to the lower part of the cabin, and the guy next to him had to actually grab a hold of him to keep him from rolling down the stairs. Well, he got back up off the floor and sits down, and he suddenly leans down across his knees, his elbows, and starts staring down the stairs. And I thought, I wonder what he's staring at. Well, then the mate happened to come down and come through the cabin, and he looked at him and he said, you know what, I think you better go downstairs. I see daylight downstairs. The mate says, what? He says, just go ahead, go downstairs. I'm seeing daylight down there. So the mate goes downstairs, and like not even a minute later, comes running back up. His face is pure white, and he runs up to the cockpit to talk to the captain. Well, the captain proceeds to come down, and he walks through the cabin, walks down the steps, and then he comes back up and says, we've got a little bit of a problem. We have a hole in the boat. Now he says, don't get too excited. He says, we're not taking on water, but he says, as rough as the inlet is, we can't go back the way we came right now. He says, we're just going to have to sit out here and circle. And he says, I'll call the Coast Guard, but he says, we're just going to sit out here now. And we were probably only a couple miles offshore. We weren't that far. You could still see the beach, but that's what we started to do. We started to circle. One thing I forgot to mention was the sound it made when the boat slammed down. The best I can describe it would be if you would take a plastic cooler and throw it to somebody that has a baseball bat that's really good with a baseball bat, and they hit a home run with it. It's a sound I just will never forget. Here you can see the extent of the damage. Later, after we got back in, we had heard that there was almost $20,000 worth of damage to the boat. But yeah, it was quite extensive, and it was a scary thing to see. When one of our guys made it over to another boat, he ended up taking some pictures with his phone, and he started texting it to us. So we got to see what the front of our boat looked like, and it was a little nerve-wracking looking at your boat and saying, "Oh wow, nice big hole in the boat." And it was no wonder that the captain didn't want to go back to the inlet again, because the waves we had hit on the morning would have definitely came up over where that hole is and flooded the inside of the boat. Eventually the mate came down and he informed us that we had to wear our life preservers, so we all put our life preservers on, and we just decided that this would be an awesome photo op. So we all lined up on the back of the boat, and after a couple hours of circling, the Coast Guard arrived, and what a welcome sight, I'll tell you.
I don't know if there's a really safe way to do it. 3 feet! Roll out! Watch your hands.
Sorry, but I had to edit this section because of the foul language.
Fuck, I ain't going on.
Better off here. They get the boat was sinking.
Pops is resistant.
You're gonna take your water right now across that bar.
one by one they had us jump from the fishing boat over to the Coast Guard ship. And after they got us all loaded up, they took us back in, and they were actually very nice to us. I mean, they had, gave us coffee and a little snack, and we had to stick around and tell our version of what happened, and then we were released that day. And I remember thinking to myself, that we were staying in the house with 6 other guys, so there was 12 of us a total. And I really gave serious consideration to not going back out again the next day. When this all happened, the captain of the boat called in. He said, "Don't worry, we're going to get another boat lined up for you for tomorrow, and you're not going to miss your fishing trip. So we'll send you back out tomorrow." And I thought, those 6 other guys, they were out on their trip that day too. Probably one of them would have gladly filled my spot for the next day. But fortunately, I didn't decide to succumb to that fear, and I'll show you why.
Your second mark. Right fast. Now you get your all 3 now. Away, the sailfish, and the blue.
Gotta get her in now.
You're right. Stay where you are. Don't worry about me. Crank fast. All right. See it? Keep cranking. Just crank. Don't bump. Just crank. Crank and guide your line. Don't bump. Just keep cranking. Don't pull. Don't pull. Put your feet out here. Feet up and high and wide. Keep cranking.
That fish got other ideas.
Don't pinch it. Don't pinch it. When you burn, when you put it against here, it burns the line. When we get to the line.
Jumping, man. That's sweet. Crank that baby.
That is a big fish. He's coming close.
They're down. We're getting closer.
Sound it again? Yeah. Taking line?
I'm not taking all that.
There you go.
Now he's taking mine. Yeah, it's good to go away from it. Yeah.
What do you think it is? Ease up on your thumb right here. All right. The more tension you put, the deeper he goes. One of them fish is better than he can on top. Oh yeah. Push yourself all the way back to the chair. That better?
Still pulling out, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Crank fast, crank fast, crank, 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 crank. Crank, 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 crank. Crank, 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 crank. Crank, crank, crank. comes, guys.
Oh my God.
Birdie. Oh, wow. Never can't get it. Videoing. Trying to get a damn fish.
Woo! Good job, guys.
Like 300.
So there you have it. The mate had his hand on the leader 3 different times, so you know it counts as a catch. The third time he got his hand on the leader gave way, and the marlin was gone, and that's fine. I mean, that was what was supposed to happen. We weren't about to bring that in the boat, but it was a great day for me. One of my life goals has always been to catch a fish that weighed more than I do. And that little goal became harder and harder as life went on, because in high school I weighed about 135 pounds, and at the time this was done I probably was up to 180, and at one point in my life I was even up to 200, but I was probably at least 180 when this was done. So it's a little harder goal to reach, but they estimated this marlin went over 400 pounds, and I got a citation from North Carolina for catching an over 400 pound blue marlin. So I achieved one of my life's goals. Great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, hit that like and subscribe button. I had a great time making it, a real learning experience, and I hope to make more videos in the future. I'm pretty busy with my work, but we'll see how this goes. Thank you. Have a great day.